This is the largest four-wheel drive ever built by Toyota. You thought the Land Cruiser was the ultimate in four-wheel drive Toyotas? Say hello to the Megacruiser. This is the 1996 Toyota Megacruiser BXD20. 2 years back, I did a review on the military variant of the Megacruiser, known as the BXD10. And just like the Hummer H1, this is the civilian variant of the military truck. And this thing is incredibly rare. Like, really rare. Different sources say there's around 130 to 150 civilian Megacruisers that were built. And there's something like 4 or 5 in the US. And one's in the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum in Utah. Just like the Humvee, the Megacruiser was designed primarily for military use. But unlike the H1, the Megacruiser's actually bigger. It's almost 2 feet longer than the H1. And with the optional high roof, which this one doesn't have, it's nearly 10 inches taller. The entire thing is just a hair wider than a Ford Raptor. It is giant. It is gargantuan. But somehow, thanks to good old Japanese engineering, it's half a ton lighter than the H1. Well, lighter. Only weighing 6,300 pounds, or nearly 3 tons. Now you're probably thinking, a vehicle of this size and this stature, surely it must have a V8 or a V10 or a nuclear reactor to get it to move? You'd be very, very wrong. Under the hood, you find a 4-cylinder, a 150 horsepower 4-cylinder, except it is a pretty big 4-cylinder, and it's a turbo diesel. That is the 15B, which is a 4.1 liter inline 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine. And as I said, it's good for 153 horsepower and 282 foot-pounds of torque. Where else can you find that engine? Well, it's the same power plant shared as the Toyota Coaster bus. Definitely won't be winning any races with this thing. 0 to 60 in this takes around 20 seconds. It's not me joking or trying to be funny, that is a fact. Japanese horsepowers are sent down to all 4 wheels through a 4-speed automatic transmission. You could only get these in an automatic. No manual variants were available. And then through a 2-speed transfer case and onto a trio of locking differentials. Now, if you've driven a 1995 Camry, you probably recognize this shifter. Look familiar? The shifter for the transfer case is borrowed from the Land Cruiser, like you'd see in the 80 series. It's the same transmission as well. Same with the window switches and the turn signals. It's all just basic Toyota. Again, like the H1, the driver and front passenger sit on either side of the Everest-sized transmission tunnel. We've got about 5 feet here between you and your passenger. Perfect for those who don't enjoy conversation. But the backseat passengers don't fare nearly as bad as they do in the Hummer. There's a ton more room back there thanks to the very, very wide bench seat with room for 4 normal-sized people, or 2.5 of me. Now, you can't talk about the Megacruiser, the ultimate Toyota off-roader, and not talk about what features crown it with that title. First, we've got portal axles, which essentially lifts up the axles, which are usually the lowest point on a truck. The axles spin a variety of different gears, which are then attached to the hub at a lower point. That gives the Megacruiser mega clearance. How about 16.5 inches of ground clearance? That's 6.5 inches more than a Jeep Wrangler. As I said, we've also got locking front, center, and rear differentials, similar to the H1 as well. But what the H1 doesn't have is rear wheel steering. That, case in point, is very helpful on a giant truck like this, seeing as though the H1 Hummer needs 26.5 feet to turn around. And the Megacruiser, it can do it in just 18. The current Toyota Camry takes more room to turn around than that. I mean, it's comfortable. You feel the truck, I should say you hear and you kind of feel the truck moving around below you, but you don't get jarred around. It's relatively smooth. I know from the outside it looks like you should just be jarred and rattled around in here, but you really aren't. Now this Megacruiser does have 168,000 kilometers on it, or just 105,000 miles for you American folks. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy motoring.